Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm doing a troll game on the map Potholes. I'm starting in the bottom left position, playing as the Soviets. The rules of this troll game are no tanks, so I'm not going to be able to build any tanks, and that's going to include V2 rockets. And I've started in the bottom left position. Now the bottom left position can be a good position, but usually a player plays in the bottom middle. It's just how people spawn usually. And now you can see Cyan there coming from the bottom middle, and they're so close to us, we're going to need to be able to take them out very, very quickly. And this is just going to be complete infantry warfare from me, because I can't produce tanks, and also Cyan is playing as the allies, so they're going to be able to produce light tanks early on, and if I let the light tank mass build up, I am going to die. So I've just got as many infantry coming forwards as I can right now, and what we're going to try and do is we're just going to try and get some base kills with the infantry. We're also going to try and make Cyan use up all his funds building infantry, so that he can't build as many light tanks, and we're just going to hope it works. Let's see what we can do now. We can see some infantry there, but we're going to have to push through because we need him to spend more and more. And yeah, getting some infantry down there, and now we're going to go into his base. We might even be able to get a power plant, but we can see Cyan building more infantry there and running them into my base. And I can see another player there in the back of my base with an infantry, but I have to focus on Cyan now, who's got a light tank. These tanks make it extremely tricky because they can squash infantry, so I need to run the infantry around, but also I have to kill the other infantry at the same time. And now we can see Cyan's infantry force starting to die off, and has he spent too much, he's got another couple of tanks out, so that's quite dangerous for me. But I'm going to take these infantry across the top and go down, but you can see him getting a squash there. I didn't move them quick enough, and yeah, that's been a bit painful for myself. And now he's got 3 tanks, because every time that ore truck drops off some more resources, he's going to be able to build another tank. And what I'm trying to do now is just move these infantry around as much as possible and build more infantry myself. I've got 3 ore trucks now, so I do have like a better economy than he does, but a little bit of lag there. But now the tanks, they're coming in, and this is very, very dangerous for myself. We'll have to see what he tries to do, and I'm just going to need to take all my infantry forwards and just hope that I actually survive. You can see what my ore refinery there going down pretty quickly, and I'm taking my infantry to destroy his ore refinery. I'm also building a flame tower just to provide that little bit of damage to those light tanks, and that ore refinery going down there. And he's got a pillbox out now. That's going to stop my infantry push a little bit, but now I'm starting to be able to take out some of the major buildings, such as the MCV and the war factories, things like that. We'll take out that pillbox. And you can see I've got like the funds sort of to make another ore refinery if I need to, but I won't need to because that one's still up, and Cyan's now sold off everything, and I've been able to stop his push into my base. But there's Yellow with an infantry guy, so he knows where I am on the map. Now Cyan's MCV did get away, and I don't know if that's how big a problem that's going to be, because he was very low on funds, of course. He'd spent all of his funds on tanks, so I don't know whether he'll have enough funds to actually build a ore refinery. What I'm going to be doing anyway is I'm going to be searching around for that MCV, because I want to take him out, because obviously he's going to be wholly focused on destroying me if he gets back into this game, so I do need to find out where he is. And what I'm thinking is he'll have gone, yeah, to this area of the map, because there's, you know, that nobody spawns in the bottom right. So it makes sense. It would make sense to go into that area of the map. And he's probably seen me. Oh, we've seen a power plant there. We're going to take that out. So we'll destroy that. We don't see the MCV though, so he's obviously moved it, because he did have it deployed as a construction yard. And you can see my base is in big trouble. We've got Yellow there with the light tanks, so I've only fended off against one attack just to get attacked again at my base. And this isn't looking good at all. And we can see that Cyan has left the game. And what I'm going to need to do here is he's going for my war factory, and I'm just going to try and get my MCV out of there and sell that war factory for funds, because then I'll have enough funds to buy an ore refinery if somehow I survive this. We can see those yellow tanks are now attacking my service depot, And I'm just selling things like as quickly as I can, just before they get destroyed, just to make sure I do keep those funds. And we'll have to have a look. Is he going to follow me, or is he just going to... Well, actually, that's interesting. He's just went back to his base and left those few buildings standing. So I've still got an ore refinery there. I've still got a couple of barracks and a flame tower. Although it's clear that I'm not going to be able to build anything around the area, because yellow will just send his tanks down and destroy it. So I'm going to need to sort of like start again in the bottom right of the map. And of course, I'm choosing the bottom right for the same reason that Cyan did. And that's because if I'm in the bottom right, no one spawns there. And I'm going to guess the other player probably spawned in the top right. So he's quite far up the map, and we'll just have to hope that he goes for yellow before he attacks me. But time will tell. And what we're doing now is we're just getting some units out, and we're going to try and start mining off that patch just to the north of my base. So getting an ore refinery out, I'm in like obviously a bad position. You can see that tank mass starting to build up around that bottleneck. I don't know why he's exactly guarding it, because I don't have anything to destroy him with. And I don't know, he must have known like I got my MCV away, because he saw it move from my base. But you'll also see that I'm not building anything around that area anymore. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't have a clue what's going on elsewhere in the map. In the top of the map, because there might be a big fight going on there. We'll just have to wait and build up a little bit. So I'm going to be getting my first war factory out soon. And what I need to do is I need to just be able to get like multiple MCVs. And then I'll be able to sort of like build things faster and start building up my economy and expand it to different parts. Although it's going to make it very tricky considering what's happened so far. But I'm going for that service depot straight away now. We've got a couple of ore trucks working. I'm just keeping that other ore truck like stationary at the moment. I'm going to wait till I can build an ore refinery and another ore patch. And just spread out my ore trucks, because I might have to make the ore around this area of the map last. So I do have to be wary of that, and I'm just going to send an infantry up to do a little bit of scouting. So now I can start getting the MCVs out, and yes, it is a big risk at this stage of the game, but anything I do at the moment is a big risk. And a Tesla taking out that infantry, so we know that blue is just above that gap. And I'm going, yeah, that makes things very tricky, let's say. And he also probably knows that I'm there, because he'll have like saw his Tesla coil fire, so he'll probably be aware that I've got like a base just below him, which is going to be a bit problematic. And that just means I'm going to have to get some base defenses up quite early in this game. And now I've got my first construction yard out, which means I'm going to have 2 construction yards, and that's going to give me double the build speed. And now I'm just getting that large power plant out, because what I want to do is get that radar dome out so I can see what's going on in different areas of the map. And I'm going to be wanting to get other base defenses out quite early as well. So we'll get that up so I can see actually what's going on the left of the map, in case yellow decides to go on the attack. And now I'm going to be starting to build my first Tesla coil, because the priority basically is to get that gap guarded. And yeah, we can see an ore truck going down there. And once those ore trucks actually use that ore patch, they'll start going to my ore patch as well. So at that stage, I'm going to need some good base defences, because he's probably going to follow it up with some tanks or whatever he's got in terms of units. And he could have built quite a bit by now, because it is actually about 9 minutes into the game, even though it looks like I'm just starting up because I had such a bad start. But we are quite in advanced stages right at the moment. And I'm just having a look at those ore trucks, and that ore patch does seem to be getting used up pretty quickly. So I'm going to be getting like 3 Teslas here, and then some flame towers in front of them. That will hopefully give me a good defense, because it is a bottleneck. So it's going to be hard to fit a lot of units around out there. And with these flame towers as well, that's just going to make it even more of a nuisance if he's trying to get tanks in. And it might be pretty hard for him to reach. And we see those ore trucks coming in now and getting taken out straight away by those Tesla. And now yellow's decided to make a move on my bottom left base, which is going to go down. So I'm just going to sell it up now, because what I think yellow will be doing is he'll be planning on expanding to that ore patch. But now my economy is building up a little bit, and I'm also going to need to think about defences on the left side of my base. I am struggling for resources though at the moment, as you can see, and this is going to be quite a slow process of building these Tesla. What I really need to do is I need to get into some more patches, but I can't expand up the map. So I might be able to expand to the left of the map though, because we can see that yellow hasn't got too much around that patch at the moment. I just need to be very careful though, because if yellow goes on the attack, I'll be in real trouble. And getting that ore refinery out now. And once I've got that ore refinery out now, I'm going to need to get some base defences. And as I expected, we can see that yellow has got a MCV going down to that ore patch that I started on. Because he obviously wants to build up his economy. Like I'm trying to do at the moment with my multiple MCVs, and I'm going to stop building them because I need to get some other things down first. Another ore truck there, and now I'm going to be able to get power plants, and I'm going to be able to get some Tesla. And I mean, the building speed at the moment from the extra MCVs isn't going to be that helpful because I am low on resources, although they are starting to build up a little bit now. And I'm going to have to think about where I want those MCVs, because I might like to put them a bit further up the map. And what I'm trying to do here is just get nearer to that. You can see that bottleneck there. Because what I want to do is I want to catch units as they go through the bottleneck. I don't want them to get through the bottleneck, then be able to group up and then attack. And that's not the best idea. So that's why you can see me placing Teslas around the entrances to different parts of the map, which is the best way to use base defences. Catch them in a bottleneck. You don't want to use Teslas like on an open field unless you've got them in like really good numbers. And now I've got a airfield out, so I'll be able to get a bit of vision on different parts of the map, and also get a tech centre. Tech centres can be quite useful for Soviets, as it allows us to produce Tanyas. It also allows Soviets to produce mammoth tanks, but I'm not going to be using any because it's a no tanks match for me. And actually the mammoth tanks aren't very good anyway. So we're going to be producing the first of our Tanyas and now just getting some power up. And our Tesla forces are starting to be able to build up quite a bit. So we're actually getting like really good defense. And that's like surprising, because you'd think the other players, what they'd be trying to do is they'd be trying to take us out early on, but they've allowed us to be unchecked for a long time, and this has just allowed me to get in a stronger and stronger position. And now that those Teslas getting in really good numbers, although the other players could have absolutely huge armies by this point. And now we're going for the attack on yellow's base in the bottom left and taking out those few buildings. And what I can see is yellow is fighting with red. So that's a big problem there. I did get red mixed up with blue earlier, but that was because of the lighting on my screen. It looked like blue with the little wording. Because just the way I've got things set up when I'm doing the voice recording. Anyway, I've got another ore refinery on this patch now, so we're getting in the middle now, and that's going to be really good as well, because there's plenty of resources there. And we're going to have to see, are they going to attack us soon, or are they going to let us keep on expanding? And now I can get some more MCVs. And we see red ore trucks once again going to this patch in the middle of the map. So I'm going to kill more red ore trucks like I did earlier. And we're getting some Teslas out here. And we'll have to just start building up, because as soon as red sees that some of his ore trucks have gone down, he might start attacking me. But he sort of did run into my base, and now we can see the red army coming. It's the heavy tanks on my Tesla. I don't have any Tesla around this area at the moment. I'm going to be just trying to build them as quickly as possible. And his army attacking mine, but the Tesla doing some great damage. But those heavy tanks are in quite large numbers, and it seems like more coming in from his base. So I just have to keep on building these Tesla and just hope I can outlast it. At least it's not like the main part of my base, which is further down the map, and we can see those numbers starting to get whittled down. So I think we're going to be able to grind him down and destroy that army, hopefully. And that ore truck's going to go down, that's on the other part as well. And now those red tanks starting to retreat. I've got even more Tesla there, and it's going to be very hard for him to get back into my base. So defense there, and red is out of the game. And now he's accusing us of working as a team, but to be fair, he attacked my base. I didn't attack his base, so that wasn't really that accurate. But now it's a 1v1 match, so is yellow, who let me go at the start. I got my MCV away, and he didn't chase it down, which is what he should have done. He should have ignored the war factory and just gone after my MCV, but there you go. And just getting a few more barracks out now, and that's going to allow me to do some Tanyas. So I'm going to see if I can send them into my base and do some damage. We'll have to see how this goes. So no base defences so far, and we're going to get an ore refinery down. But as we get into his base, we can see there's some pillboxes, and pillboxes and Tanyas don't mix well, because Tanyas have to get close to them to blow them up, and pillboxes do a lot of damage against infantry, so it doesn't work out too well. But what we'll try and do is we'll try and take the Tanyas elsewhere on the map and see if we can get some damage around those areas. And what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to go up to where Red was earlier in the game. However, I do think because of the stage in the game that Red got taken out, that the ore reserves in that part of the map are probably going to be quite barren, but they will build up later in the game. I'm also wondering how well Yellow's managing the resources, because the left side of the map is quite rich in resources, and there we see a turret, and turrets are not as effective against Tanyas. We can destroy that, but those Tanyas are on low HP now, and we'll see if we can find some buildings without any defences around them. And now we're going up to this top part. You can see those ore patches so have been used up quite a bit, and now Yellow coming in with his tanks, and he's going to be able to take out those MCVs, just trying to distract him with that MCV while I get an MCV to the top, and then I'll be able to build some Teslas in that bottleneck. We'll have to see if that's able to hold though. And those yellow tanks coming in now. Are they going to try and push through? Are they going to keep on going? He's also got some units right up there as well. So we're going to have to try and defend against those also. But I think this defence looks like it's going to hold. And you can just see the power there of the bottleneck. We've managed to hold him off. We'll have to see if he decides to go around the other entrance. But those Tesla are like very close to that construction yard, so if he does go from the other side, he's still going to be met with a load of Tesla, and he's just trying to keep the tanks coming through, and we're just killing them one at a time. And indeed we do see some tanks come in from the other entrance, and I'm just going to get a bit of a stronghold here. I've managed to get some good kills of units by having like just all those Tesla at that bottleneck. But I just need to be careful. And now we see the cruisers coming out for Yellow, and that's going to be a bit problematic because those cruisers can do mighty damage, and it's sort of going to isolate me from going to the left side of the map a little bit, although I am going to be able to probably get to that bottom left position possibly, because the cruisers don't reach that area, so I will be able to get to another ore patch. It's just going to make things more difficult for me in the middle of the map. And now we're seeing a base crawl from Yellow into that bottom left area. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and take an MCV there immediately and just stop that base crawl. I've also got a Tanya there just to destroy some of those power plants, just to push them back a little bit. I'm going to build another Tesla there and just get another power plant and get another Tesla out. But what we're trying to do is, and a pillbox comes out and destroys that Tanya. So the exact right move there from, he's called himself AI Easier, so we'll see about that. And now we're getting out the Tesla. He's trying to get a gap generator out to limit my vision, but it's too late. I've got the Tesla now, and the Tesla obviously uncover everything on the map. And I'm going to be able, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, he's trying to build these barracks to get, I don't know whether he's going to build Tanyas or just infantry. But what we'll do is we'll build flame towers, because flame towers do great damage against infantry, and that's going to sort of just make it very hard for him, because he's going to waste a lot of funds if he continues with this. Whereas my base defences are just going to get stronger and stronger. And you can see now for Yellow, he's probably going to realise that he's not going to win this. When you have Soviet base defences against Yellow base defences, it's really a non-contest. And now taking out some of those tanks, they're going through that bottleneck. So we've now sort of like trapped him further up his base, and now we're going for the base crawl. Let's see how effective this is going to be. He's starting to bring some tanks further south, but the question is, are his numbers going to be great enough? He's also using base defences in with those tanks. But we have got a great building speed with all the MCVs we've got at the moment, and just building more and more. But we have to be careful because we've just run out of power. So I'm just going to build some power plants at the back of my base. And we can see some tanks going there also. So I'm going to need to defend also the back of my base as well as the front. So taking some like base defenses down different places. And he's also going for me in the middle of the map. I just need to be careful, of course, because I keep on getting low on power. Because I'm just having to build Tesla all over the place at the moment just to manage these sort of like groups of tanks attacking me from different positions. And yeah, still he's at that bottleneck, and that bottleneck isn't working out well for yellow. And I've been pushed back a little bit, you can see. He's also got some turrets out, but those tank numbers are falling quite sharply, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep up this pressure for long as we take out his tanks, and that ore refinery's in a dreadful place, but never mind. As long as we keep funds coming in, and we'll just destroy that gap generator, get rid of that. So both players at this point probably have control of about half of the map. I definitely have control of like half of the starting spots, because we got the top right also, which hasn't really, and that's, yeah, it's just too close, that ore refinery, to get to that. I'll see if my ore trucks can get there, but they might still be destroyed. But now it's time to start pushing up into yellow's base, and if we start to get into that base, then the game is going to be pretty much over. And we can see some of those ore trucks down there. And what I need to do is build some power plants and start getting Tesla up there to destroy those ore trucks. And then if we can get yellow from that patch, I think we should be in ideal position for this game. So getting the Tesla coils up and those ore trucks going down. And the thing is, on this part of the map, like to the very left, we're just going to be out of range of those cruisers. So we can get some good kills there. And we're also going to be able to expand up to the top left side. Now I do think there's some gap generators there, because it did seem like the map was being uncovered and then shrinking again. So he's sort of like, we can't see exactly what he's doing, and what I spy there is a tech centre. I will definitely be getting that down, because hopefully he's only got one, and if he's only got one, that's going to take away full map visibility. I don't know that for sure though, because you can always get 2 tech centres, and if you get 2 tech centres, then it makes things a bit easier, because I'd have to destroy both of them. And I can see my power's being very low at the moment, and that's because he's trying to take out my power plants and take my Tesla offline in other places on the map. And now I can see my ore reserves are starting to run out in the bottom right, and this could make things very tricky, because if I run out of ore resources, then this push is going to be stopped, and it's going to depend on how many resources yellow still has to mine, because he's in the top left, and I think that's probably going to be quite a lucrative place on the map. And you can see my resources falling very quickly now. I don't have much ore left. I've got less than 1,000, and I'm out of ore now, so we'll have to see what he can do. Does he have enough reserve to start building tanks? He's got a lot of tanks actually in that bottom right hand corner. So I'm going to need to, I think I'm going to lose those 2 ore trucks unfortunately. But they weren't going to be that much use anyway. And I'm just having a look at the different areas now and where I can possibly start collecting resources. Because this isn't a great position for myself at the moment. So now it may be a battle of economies. We'll have to wait and see. I am getting like a decent, like some funds in at least. So I'll be able to build these flame towers. Get a few unit, like structure kills here. Because these flame towers just do, like, the great against these, like, structures. I'm surprised the cruisers aren't firing on these, actually, because I thought the cruisers were nearby. But it looks like I'm getting away with this for the time being. And we do see, actually, some ore here. Construction complete. And that is a really good ore patch. I can't believe that yellow isn't actually using this. I would have thought yellow would be developed around this point, with lots of base defences and at least a couple of ore trucks. So that's a big mistake from yellow there. And now some units are coming in. It looks like we've got a tank and an ore truck as well. But that single ore truck isn't going to be good. And now the cruisers seem to be firing. They're going to destroy one of my ore refineries. We'll have to see if the other one goes down or whether it's going to be out of range. But you can see those Tesla coils being taken out, the ones that are close to the water. So I am going to have to be careful around this point. But now I'm going to expand further upwards, and we're going to see if we can get any more base kills here. We've got a power plant there, and it does look like that ore refinery unfortunately is going to go down. But now we're in the top left position of the map, and you can see though there's some buildings from yellow. And we're just being able to go right to his base now, taking out a lot of structures. There's pillboxes, there's turrets, and yeah, we're just wiping it all out. And these ore patches are still available, so we're going to get still be able to use them, and just getting some Teslas out as well, and taking out some of those main units. So yeah, getting the turrets out, and we're going to be able to use these ore patches, and we're just going to get rid of these structures and all these base defences. Like the turrets, I'm surprised he's got turrets. Well, he'll have turrets probably from earlier in the game. You can see actually there's been a lot of fighting around here, and that was probably from Red attacking him earlier on when he had tanks. And obviously those turrets would be the best thing to use against heavy tanks. The pillboxes don't really do that much, and now we see yellow coming in with the medium tanks and some infantry as well. We're going to use a mixture of Tesla and flame towers to... Sometimes what I like to do is I like to use flame towers sort of just so they start attacking those while a Tesla do some damage at the same time. It seems to be quite effective. And the flame towers are also good when you have vehicles with low armour, because they build very quickly, and if the vehicle's got low armour, like a Ranger or a V2 rocket, then it can take them out very, very quickly. But now the flame tower's coming out, we're starting to be able to destroy some of these buildings from yellow. He's trying to build some tanks from that war factory, but I'm going to get a Tesla out, and once I get those Teslas out, they're going to be able to do some real mega damage, and just getting rid of that turret as well at the same time. And we can see a construction yard there. We'll be taking that out also, and we're in a very, very commanding position at this point in the game. I'm quite surprised though that we haven't seen more ore trucks working on these ore patches. That would have helped him get his tag numbers up and be able to defend. I think the cruisers though is definitely a good move, because I can't do anything against the cruisers, and Soviets are very weak against cruisers and destroyers anyway, because they build submarines. And submarines can't fire on land unless you get missile subs, but aftermath units is on, so they're not available. And just getting some infantry across the top of the map just to get a bit more scouting done. Although I've got most of the map scouted now, so I pretty much know where everything is. And now I'm going to try and work my way upwards and destroy these medium tanks on this ore patch, because you can see that ore patch is starting to regenerate. And some of these ore patches that are regenerating are going to become particularly useful. So as long as we can get rid of those tanks, then I'm going to be able to start mining on those again. I think by this point in time, it's very, very clear that I've got command of the game. I've got both sides of the map, and yellow is isolated to the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind it on to near the end, because this game took a long time to finish. And the reason is he had cruisers. You can see those cruisers doing loads of damage there. He just had those cruisers firing on me. And it was just me trying to get close to the water and destroy those cruisers, because when you can't use tanks really, it's quite hard to do. So yeah, it did take quite a long time to do, but as you can see, there's no way he's going to come back from this. I've got the whole of the right side of the map unchallenged because he's got no cruisers on that side. And then I've got most of the left side of the map, and I've got cruisers firing on my base, but I've also destroyed all his buildings on that side. So I'm just going to wind the video on a bit now, because it was very much the same thing for the next 10 minutes. So this was the final stages of the game, and I was just taking flame towers now into the middle. Still got those cruisers, I think, firing on my base a little bit, and a couple of tanks going around the map. The crucial thing in this game though was being able to destroy that player at the start. He was a good player, so if I hadn't destroyed him there and then, it could have been a big problem later on. And it probably worked to my advantage that I started close to him, because then I was able to, of course, build loads of infantry, which caught him off guard, because it's not the normal thing to do when you're in those positions. After that fight, I moved to the bottom right, where I was able to slowly build up. And fortunately for me, what happened was yellow and red started battling it out between themselves, which is probably what you'd try and do when you think one player's almost been taken out of the game. And then I was just able to slowly build back up, and then I just got too powerful. Red went for the attack on me and got him destroyed by a lot of Tesla, and it was just me against yellow. And Soviets are very powerful with base defences when they're against other players, so that's how that match went. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.